Today, we're going to be taking a look at the SteelSeries Arctis 7 2019 edition. Stay tuned. What's going on, guys? It's QuazyDog here, and today we're going to go over and talk a little bit about the SteelSeries Arctis 7 2019 edition. So I picked these up because I have been almost addicted to Warzone since the quarantine started. And for me, I was playing primarily on PS4, which was fine. I was using these for a headset. These are my old HyperX Cloud Stingers, and they were okay. They operated on a 4-pole connector right into the bottom of my controller, but the issue was I wanted to actually play a little bit of Warzone on my PC, and for some reason I just couldn't get the 4-pole to work properly, even though I have a 4-pole jack on the front of my PC case. I tried a lot of different stuff, and you know what? It was just time for a headset change. So I shopped around. I looked at a ton of different options. I looked at the Astro A20s. I looked at some different ones from Razer. I looked at some different ones from HyperX, but I ended up actually settling on the Arctis 7, and I settled on these for a couple of different reasons. Before we actually go over the headphones themselves, we're going to do a little bit of a mock unboxing so you guys can see exactly what you get in the package. Of course, the headphones are out, but I did chuck everything else back in here just so you guys can see some of the branding and what to expect if you were to pick up these headphones yourself. So the insert just comes out, and this is actually really nice. So they went above and beyond to give you like a little bit of a story here behind them, their whole Rise Up motto and different things like that. Take this sleeve out. Now in here would have been, of course, where the headset rests. You do have a little booklet on the back. I didn't bother using that. And then to show you some of the cables that you do get a very, very long USB-A to micro USB charging cable. This is actually what I use both to charge it as well as to use my Xbox One controller on my PC. You get your wireless transmitter, and we're gonna go over this in a little bit more detail later on, but this actually has some really cool features. And then you do get as well I think that would be considered a mini USB possibly, but that's a mini USB to a tri-pole connector, or a 4-pole connector, sorry. And this is for use with, let's say, an Xbox controller or a PS4 controller, something where maybe at the time USB just isn't an option. So I'm just gonna take a second to set this stuff aside. I'm gonna leave the other cables out. I'm gonna pack up the 4-pole because I really have no need or no use for that. And we're gonna talk about all the cool stuff that the headset claims and says on the package. So 2.4 gigahertz lossless wireless. So these don't operate on Bluetooth like other headphones might. These are on a dedicated 2.4 gigahertz wireless frequency. And one reason why this is important is most Bluetooth headsets, so let's say it's Bluetooth 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, if you have long gaming sessions, you do run the risk of latency. And from what I saw on some of the ones on the market, some of the latency can be up to 200 milliseconds. So if you're playing semi-competitively, FPS shooters or SPF, not sunscreen, FPS shooters, that delay is going to be detrimental to your gameplay. So you're not going to hear something until it's actually already happened. So positional audio is going to be all out of whack. So really glad that this is 2.4 gigahertz wireless through Wi-Fi. That was a key selling point for me. Other than that, Discord certified. So the microphone itself, when you operate in Discord, it actually has gone through Discord certification. You can set it up just as your default communication device and it won't pick that up. But there's something that happens when you actually go into Discord and actually pick SteelSeries Arctis 7 for the outgoing communication method with the microphone. It'll come up, it'll say it's Discord certified, and I find, I don't know if it's a compression algorithm or what, but it sounds fantastic. And the feedback that I've gotten in the last 2 weeks using this with my squad on a nightly basis is that the microphone is absolutely fantastic. And we're gonna do an audio sample here in a couple of moments so you guys can hear it. It's going to be unedited and it's not going to be through Discord. It's just going to be the regular microphone to give you guys a good universal feel of what it's going to sound like. There is chat mix, and the chat mix on this actually operates in a very, very cool way. So I'm gonna talk about how that works. Again, for now, we're just going over what it says on the box. And DTS Headphone X 2.0. This is a mixed bag. It depends who you are and who you're watching. These operate kind of right out of the box in stereo mode, but you can use, specifically on a PC only, you can use the SteelSeries Engine 3 software or whatever they may have by the time that you're watching this video, and you can set up like a simulated surround sound. And some reviewers say that it sounds like audio soup. It kind of mushes everything together and you lose some of your positional audio. I personally use it in Call of Duty and I don't hate it. The stereo is great, and that's really what you're going to get if you have these on PS4 or Xbox or Switch or anything like that. But specifically for the PC users, you can enable this. I would recommend trying it with, trying it without, and kind of seeing which flavor you like more. But for me, I really don't hate it. I actually have it enabled like 99% of the time. Over here, we have battery life estimated at 24 hours. This is something that has been increased from, I think, the 2016 version of these, which I think were labeled at like 14 hours. I use them for about 2-3 hours a night, and I haven't charged them yet. So I think I'm probably at like 15 hours and I'm still, it's estimated half battery. So battery life is really, really good. It's proven really good for me anyway. Range, we have advertised 40 feet on the box. I can tell you I'm in a raised ranch, so I have a basement and I have a main story. I can put these on, I can leave my room, I can go upstairs, I can go in any of the rooms, and I can even go outside and let the dogs out, and these don't cut out. You will get an audible beep if you're getting close to the end range of the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, but I have not had these cut out to traveling all around my house, let alone just sitting right in front of my PC. Now, I would recommend that you don't obstruct this guy here. Again, this is your Wi-Fi transmitter. This is what sends out that signal, just because the nature of Wi-Fi, it is fairly directional. So if there's something that's in between, if this is too close to your Wi-Fi router, or if maybe you're walking through your house and you're going on the other side of a microwave, something that'll cut Wi-Fi signals, your mileage may vary, but for me, I've had very, very great success. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this transmitter for a second as well. So of course, the transmitter just connects through regular USB, very straightforward. This is what's going to be universally accepted by your PS4 as well as your PC. And for me, the main reason why I settled on these was that USB connection. I did look again at the Astro A20s as an example. The biggest issue with some of those and some of the more expensive headsets were they operate off optical, which isn't a bad thing, but it would require me, if I'm upstairs playing on my PS4, to plug in the Toshlink cable or the optical cable, go in, retune my audio settings, then plug in the USB for that transmitter, which is typically for supplemental power as well as chat mix. And then you've got lots of cables. Then if I want to bring it downstairs, I have to take all those off. I have to come down. I have to fiddle with my onboard sound card and put in the optical. Or with the Arctis 7, I can just put in USB. And everything's done for me, which is great. Now the downfall on PS4, chat link or chat mix, is not an option. That is only on PC. And we'll talk about how that works, but with just the single USB, you'll have to go into your actual sound settings and change the audio mix yourself from the PS4, because the chat mix dial on these guys, which is right on the right ear cup, by the way, if we can get this to focus, right here, that's your chat mix. So right in the middle, it's 50-50 sound. If you put it up towards the controller, that's going to be game sound. And if you roll it down towards the person, that's going to be your party mix or your audio. So very easy, again, on PC to do that on the fly. And the way that happens, I should go over as well, because it's super unique and super cool. So when you plug in the USB-A into your PC, it actually installs two digital sort of sound cards. You have one that's called the Arctis Game, and then one that's called the Arctis Chat. So, of course, in, let's say, Call of Duty, or even in my default sound settings, I have all of my native sounds, my default sounds, routed through into the Arctis Game. And then when I go into Discord for my chat audio, I have my output device for Discord as the Arctis Chat. And that allows me to use the independent or dedicated chat mix directly on the headset to make sure that I'm not tabbing out of my game or anything weird like that. I can just scroll it and I can hear people better. If there's something happening where I'm in the gulag or in Final Circle in Warzone and I need to hear the game more and everybody else is dead and they're talking, I can actually cut them out completely and just scroll all the way up to just game audio and just hear that, which I really, really enjoy. Other than that, on the receiver, you do have a line in and a line out. So if you really wanted to, you can use this line out to take whatever the transmitter is listening to and pump that into another audio source. Now, one thing that I may do, and again, I'm trying to keep these more portable for my own personal needs because PS4 upstairs, PC downstairs, I'm going back and forth with these. But when you plug in the USB, it's going to set, like I said before, the default sound output to go into that Arctis Game. And the issue is the only way to stop that is to unplug the dongle. But what you can do is you can take your line out on the dongle itself and you can plug your speakers into that. So at a time when these are turned off, your audio is still going to be going through to your speakers without the need to unroute this Wi-Fi dongle, which I think is super cool. You also have a line in, so if you wanted to aux in, let's say your phone or some other piece of connectivity and use that to listen to audio with these, you totally can as well. And then the last thing to go over is maybe just the anti-slip pads on the bottom here. So this stops it from kind of sliding all around your desk. You do have your activity light to tell you about your connectivity, and then you do have your sync or your pairing button there as well. And that will just make sure that if you need to resync these to the transmitter, you can do that by holding that button for about 6 seconds. To go over a physical tour, SteelSeries makes some fantastic products. I just really want to say that first and foremost. The band style, this is what they call the ski goggle style. So what you would do if you do need to adjust these, this is Velcro. You pull that a little bit tighter and this whole band on the top allows the Velcro to catch, and when you put it on, it's an elastic suspension band strap. So it keeps the actual top off the top of your head, and all the force is resting right on this elastic. And that is something that will really keep everything nice and comfortable during your gaming sessions. I'm going to reset this back to where I had it before. These straps you can also customize. You can buy them from SteelSeries directly. They do have, I think, 6 or 7 different styles. If you order these from the SteelSeries website, at times they will give you an extra one. They will let you pick one. I ordered these for my local Best Buy, so I didn't get that option. Moving down, or I guess before we even move down, taking a look at the sort of stretchability. This is just a one-piece metal or aluminum headband, so stretchiness, positionability, everything's great. I had looked at the Logitech G935s, I think they are. But the sound of that headset creaking and crackling would have drove me nuts. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've been researching headphones yourselves. So again, another reason why I settled on these. You do have rotating cups. So these allow you to either rest them, I'm probably gonna hit my mic, rest them on your neck. They're a little tight, so they kind of choke me out a little bit. But I mean, in the odd occasion, they're nice to have around your neck. But for me, I would just be putting them on a tabletop that way. But it is nice that you get that rotating option. A little bit of rotation also helps with proper positioning on your head. So for me, they do rotate a little bit to give me a nice, comfortable seal. The ear pads, thank God these aren't leatherette. This is just a nice, they're not memory foam, they're just, I guess, regular padding, but they're super breathable. These are over ears, they are not on ears. So my ears do go completely into the ear cups. I get a nice passive seal, definitely not as much as maybe like a non-breathable leatherette, but it still cuts out a little bit of noise. And then by the time these turn on, it's like super minty crisp. I absolutely love it. On the ear cup, taking a look, I guess, on the left ear cup first, you do have your mute toggle right here. Now, I love-hate sort of with this mute toggle. When it's not muted, it's flush. And then when it's muted, it's actually out, which I get. You're probably gonna wanna feel when it's muted. But for me, I'd rather have it unmuted, out, and then in, it's muted. You have your volume dial right here as well. So that's gonna be what controls your Arctis 7 game. Again, that primary audio. One thing I would like, and again, like I'm gonna critique these a little bit. They're not perfect. Definitely some things that could be changed. I find this does scroll a little too fast. I'd like that to have like some tactile clicks in it. So that way, if I do come up for my mute and I accidentally touch the scroll wheel, I'm not like maxing out my volume or turning it completely down. Having some positional clicks would be really nice for me to set exactly where I want it to be and just leave it there. For ports on the bottom, you've got 3, if you guys can see those there. So you have your regular charging port. That's gonna be your micro USB. We talked about that cable a little bit before. You're going to have your aux port if you are using that 4-pole connector. And then you're going to have your mini USB there as well. And again, that mini USB is just simply there to make sure that you can use that 4-pole adapter. It would have been nice if they had have recessed the audio jack in there a little bit and just had a nice little breakout cover for those, so you wouldn't really have to see them. But I mean, aesthetically, they're on the bottom of the headset anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Other ear cup, again, we talked about the volume, and then you do have your power button there as well, right there on the bottom. And then the microphone. So I'm gonna put these on. The microphone is retractable. You do get a little bit of handling noise on this microphone if you do touch it, so I do recommend you get it in a decent position first and then just kind of leave it there and don't touch it. But it does come out nice. It does block a lot of background noise as well, unless again you're handling noise I don't consider as background noise. We're gonna do an audio test it a little bit so you guys can hear some examples of exactly how this sounds. Definitely not the best mic in the world, but when I bought these, they were about 160 Canadian. I think US, they usually retail for about 159. Links will be in the video description below with up-to-date pricing and availability, by the way. But for the price point that these guys are at, they're definitely really good. When it comes to just wireless headsets entirely, you're never going to get the quality of a wired headset, microphone that is, on a set of wireless. And that's just because of compression algorithms and ways that they're sending the audio through the actual 2.4 gigahertz or through Bluetooth. The bandwidth just isn't there compared to a direct connection. Now, some bad. There's really only, other than a couple of small critiques, there's really only one thing that I can say. And for those owners that have these, I hope this helps you out. Probably my second playthrough with these, I did notice that I was getting the low battery beep or the distant beep constantly. So every, I would say 60 seconds, I would get a beep. That progressed for a little bit of time, and then all of a sudden, they just turned off. I could turn them back on. The Arctis 3 software would say that they were pretty much fully charged, but then about 60 seconds later, I get a beep, they turn off again. Turn them on, turn them off. We're pretty close to Final Circle and Warzone, and that is just something that I didn't appreciate and didn't like. So I was wondering how to fix them. I charged them, I tried them again, it still didn't work. I uninstalled the Arctis suite, reinstalled it, still didn't work. I thought, well, maybe I have some issues with the receiver. So I moved the receiver into some different USB ports. It was still causing issues. So I pretty much threw every resolution I had at it. One thing I did was these ear cups do come off. I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it the left ear cup? Nope, I'll have to put that back on after. The right ear cup, there's a little reset pin. I don't know if you guys can see that, it's right there. And that's what actually resets these headphones completely to factory defaults. What I had to do was I uninstalled the software from my PC. I held that reset button for about 20 seconds. The units actually power off completely, and then I powered them back on, held my connector down for about 6 seconds. And then I also went into my Windows settings and I just made sure that my PC wasn't putting my USB ports to sleep or like in a low power mode. And I don't know if it was one specific thing or a combination of all of them, but it ended up fixing my issue. So I was almost close to returning these, and I didn't want to because I absolutely love the way that they sound, the way that they look, the way that they feel, and the price point that I bought them at. But that connectivity concern was really something that I thought was going to just be the breaking point of these headphones. I've used these for, I would say, probably 5 to 6 days, so almost a week since I've done that reallocation and kind of reset up, and they've been great ever since. So I'm gonna chalk that up to just kind of a one-time issue. We'll see how things progress in the future. Maybe I'll do an update video or even just update the video description in this video to let you guys know whether or not that was a concern that continues in the future and if there's other things that I have to do. But to close this video off, I think let's go ahead and do an audio test. I'm gonna put the ear cups back on these so I can wear them. We're gonna do a microphone test, and I think we might close it off there. So let's roll the mic test.
Okay, so this is a microphone test on the SteelSeries Arctis 7 wireless. This is the 2019 edition. We're trying to pop some sounds and kind of give you guys an overall feel of exactly how this headphone sounds and how this microphone picks up audio. We will do a handling test. And I am recording this actually with the default voice recorder in Windows. I wanted to make sure that we did not use Audition or Audacity or anything that may have added any extra clarity to the recording of this. And let me know what you guys think in the description or in the comments, about this microphone. Let me know if you think it sounds good, if it's nasally, if it's robotic. I definitely want to hear your feedback in the video comments below.
And that's honestly gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. Again, I just wanted to kind of give you guys some examples and some reasons as to why I picked these headphones, how I use them, and why I think for me, they were probably the best, and maybe for you guys, if you play on console and PC, why you should really look at these as a great mobile solution. They'd be fantastic for multi-platform LAN parties and different things like that as well. Until the next video, guys, my name is Crazy Dog. You guys have been awesome, and we'll catch you all in my next one. Take care.